Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and today it is actually raining, but there's a lot to be happy about. The sun has come out for Smite. We're back again with the Smite A to Z series, this time taking on the god of death, the Egyptian god of death, Anubis. One of my favorite gods in Smite, and has been for forever. I used to be a mage lover. If you guys didn't know, mages have always been my favorite class, and I like hunters a lot as well, but mages have really been my most played class in Smite, and Anubis is one of those mages I've played and has been around some of the longest times. And so for this A to Z, you may notice that I don't have my face cam, and this is a little bit of a different approach. I want to take this approach and turn the A to Z, at least this video, and gauge some response. Maybe the next one, see how you feel, and do it more of like a guide, so that if you're watching this, you can learn how to play Anubis, you can learn how to play the next god that I cover, and you could really understand their abilities, their kits. Huge engagement here as we go forward. Oh my god, so much damage off the start of it. Someone's gotta die. Oh my, and it is our own player. I don't even know. We took off probably enough to kill 3 of their members if you just combined it all onto 3, but it just got spread out amongst the 5 enough that nobody died, and we took all the damage. You pay the cost, but you got to risk it for the biscuit there. Tyr went in pretty strong. Anubis sitting in the back line helped to solidify some of that with my Mummify. We'll talk about his abilities, of course. There it is, using that to throw some damage on, of course, following it up with the Grasping Hands as number 3. Very AoE oriented type god. So let's get into the guide. Let's talk about how to play Anubis, what he's really there for in the battle, why you should be picking him, and when you do grab him, talk about the build as well that you're going to be using, and talk about what I'm using specifically in my game. So first off, Anubis essentially has a passive that most people don't understand. When people say do full lifesteal Anubis, right? Go a full dare me with that. A lot of people don't really get the fact that Anubis has a passive that grants him lifesteal additionally. So let's just read it out. It's called Sorrow. All of Anubis' abilities steal physical and magical protections. So this is just one thing. He gets protections from his passive. So he actually can be tanky early game and a little harder to kill than you think, even though he's stationary, because he's stealing those protections from his targets. And he also gains increased scaling to his item-based magical lifesteal. Okay, so the item magical lifesteal you pick up on an item, he will gain additional scaling for that. In addition, Sorrow grants Anubis an additional 30% crowd control reduction to all durations of CC. So this is like a lot to take in. It's like there's just way too much stuff in the pot. See a little bit of lag there, it seemed like, actually. So just finish up these back harpies. Always take these when you can in Clash. Keep yourself farming up. That's very important in these game modes. But you can just see that it does 3 different separate things. One, it steals the protections. It also adds additional lifesteal scaling to his lifesteal items. And ultimately, he gains these in stacks. And of course, you get the crowd control reduction to the duration of crowd control. So if someone stuns you for a second, it's going to be only 0.7 seconds pretty much on Anubis, which is a nice little thing to have, considering he has no raw movement ability as well. He's all damage, he's all burst damage, and that is another interesting thing about Anubis. He's one of those gods that you really want to play with the mentality that I'm going to kill people and I'm going to stay safe. A lot of times these two mentalities help to work together. We stopped the Mercury there, was aiming for the Terra, but ended up delaying and kind of separating their counterattack, which stopped the overall initiation, so it wasn't half bad, but the Terra did just make me miss with her dash. Wasn't anticipating that to happen at that moment. Very, very easy for Terras to kind of do that to me. Dodge the Mercury ult, takes down Murphy's Law. Again, he uses his dash, dodges my 2. Tyr ult comes in. There's the Lawbringer. Is it going to do the damage? I go into the ult. We kill him. It's the double kill on Unique Immortals, and I get the slay. And that's just 2 for me in the bank. Anubis could not ask for a better start. Just hand-fed those kills thanks to Tyr. Shout-outs to my boy there. He gets a first death, but then is super impactful. A lot of times it's hard to do that, especially when you die first. You lose the XP, you lose some waves, you get behind, and then you can't make that big of an impact. But with Tyr, super tanky, super able to heal up and stay in the back line, go in with his ultimate, and bring those kills to Anubis. So Anubis, as you can see, I wasn't the front line. I wasn't leading in the charge. I like to play very aggressively. But in Anubis in general, he's a damage dealer. He's an AoE damage dealer. He loves to pressure backline targets, but he loves to do that from the backline. You see this Mummify, my number 2, which is essentially a stun that I can throw onto a single target and keep them in place for a while to set up my other abilities, is great at initiating. So he has some initiating presence, and he doesn't have to be close to the target to do so. So this is a very big awareness for Anubis players or new Anubis players to actually check him out and say, oh, okay, this gives me some range to my attacks. That's ideal. Anubis should be the god that's almost the hardest to get to. If you're correctly positioning as an Anubis, you're in the back line. People have to go through 2, 3, or 4 other members to get to you, and by that time, they should have taken so much damage if you're playing Anubis correctly and with the team that understands Anubis's role, that they will basically be in a position to die. If they kill you, they've sacrificed all that to kill you. They've lost all their relics, and they are basically at low health. That should be the case if they have to go and dive Anubis in the back line. Otherwise, you got caught out. There it is, and Mercury goes in, trying to get the kill. I pop into my ultimate, immediately slay Claudius, and he goes down. The engagement continues. We're all looking to find one more tier in the backline, looking to pick off another helpless target, but they are going to escape for now. 3-2, and I've got all 3 kills, so this is absolutely perfect. With Anubis, with all this raw damage, if you get the level lead as well, you're going to be that much tankier with your protections. You're going to have that much more health, and it's going to make your damage that much more significant because it's going to be harder to take you down. With all that damage, should be easier to kill him, but if you have the level lead, it's going to be hard to kill him anyway, so that damage is just going to get absolutely disgusting, and we hopefully will see that coming up in the future. So we talked about Sorrow. Plague of Locusts, that's his number 1. What it essentially does is it's just an AoE cone that you can move. You have to stand still to use it, and one of the things is while you're doing it, you're immune to knockback. So if you have like a Hebo or a tier on the enemy team, and you see him, he's going to blink in, and he starts to blink in, you can actually press your number 1 and stay there. He will not be able to knock you up in that Fearless and move you. You will stay stationary. He will go through you, and that's one of those things that's very positive about Anubis. A lot of people don't use this defensively. It's very much offensive with the combo 2. You throw the 3 under and use the 1, or you 2 and 1 if they're very close. You 2, 3, and then ult. But really, you can use it on defensive scale. That's very good to know. This 570 damage base takes 240% of your magical power, which is a very high amount of magical power. So you can imagine already hitting for 540. Right now, that's half of somebody's health. And then, of course, adding the magical power scaling, not 100% of what I've got. Not double the magical power that I've gotten right now. 240%, double times 0.4, which is basically almost 2.5 times the magical power that you have added on top of that. Nuts damage all around the board. That's the theme for Anubis here as we try to keep pushing. We've got great pressure on the lane right now, which is fantastic in Clash. I don't like that we've been very balanced with our XP, and this is good. With me, I could have taken a solo lane and been so far ahead that I would have been 3-4 levels higher. I would have bursted people down with a 2-3 easily. On her spamming laugh. Okay. All right, buddy. That usually doesn't end well for people who spam laugh against me. I just gotta say, I gotta give you a little bit of a notice right now that laughing and spam laughing on me is not the... Okay, I missed that. All right, that's real. But don't worry, you got a kill on my team. You're jump laughing. I missed my rap, but don't worry, brother. I'm going to keep this in mind. It will come back to haunt you. Let's see. We got a great engagement here. There it is. Throw the 3. I got the... Oh! He jumps away on her with the quick leap, and he's going to make it out. But this will give us pressure on the right-hand side. And like I said with Clash, if you decide to go your own way, you go your own way. You could go your own way. Oh, you may not want to go that way, buddy. Got the on her. If you could go your own way, do your own thing, stay in your own lane, you will be in a really good spot to get that extra XP, but your teammates will be a lot lower. And so this way we have a better team fight overall, and they don't just rely on me. I've already got a little bit of a head because I've gotten those kills. But, you know, it doesn't throw it all out of balance. And otherwise, I could be super farmy, but with Anubis, he could still die despite, you know, having that huge thing. It's not like Nike, right, where pretty much I got 7, 6, 8 levels ahead. There's no way I could die. Anubis still can, so you got to play careful. One of the biggest keys with Anubis is essentially positioning yourself. And you can see with all of his abilities, they're very positioning oriented. That cone, you can't move, so you have to get the perfect position. This 3, you obviously have to understand where people are moving, and that's in relationship to where you've placed yourself, because there's a little bit of a slight delay in your movement when you throw that. A lot of Anubis's kit, almost all of it, of the ultimate, of course, you saw, it roots you in place, does a ton of damage, but again, another root in place. He's all about getting to the right spot, staying in the right spot, and anticipating fights. I kind of like to give myself this advice when playing Anubis. I'm either going to play to survive and outlast people and then ambush them when they make mistakes, or I'm going to play to be super aggressive and just get in people's faces, mummy wrap them, apply pressure, and just try and kill them before they can kill me. With the extra lifesteal that you have, giving you an extra 99% magical lifesteal scaling bonus on your items on your third stack of your passive when you're able to hit it. You're going to be able to get so much lifesteal out of your items that you could really stay alive in these fights a lot longer than you think. And shout out to Claudius there. I think he just sent me love your videos, man, and definitely a lot of love back. Thank you guys so much. I actually know that, you know, some of you guys play against me. Don't say anything. Definitely say stuff. That way I can shout you out in the videos, or we can at least connect after in the post-match lobby, you know, trying to make this community as good as it can be. I think that's just by all of us, you know, losing the facade, losing the, oh, you're the on-her that went 0-8. No, you're like, I'm Jim, you know, I'm Jeff. I like your videos, man. Or I'm Bob Doe. That was a sick play, man. I really appreciate that. And look at this, baby. On-her, you ain't jumping away this time, boy. Go back to the jungle, homie. You need a haircut for that, man, because you just got burnt. That's right. I got the Anubic demonic packed skin, and this is just what we want to see. The pressure's real. Again, with Anubis, he could be so much of a single target initiator for himself, or he could set up the target for the team to go to. Characters like Anubis, you know, to me are inherently very strong. A lot of times is because, especially when you're at a casual level, is because players, they don't have voice comms. They don't have the cues. And Amir as well. Amir, Anubis, they give you that strong stun cue that, hey, I'm placing a sentry ward as well. Before I just continue that point, I just placed a sentry ward, guys. I think I've gotten the best I'll ever be at Smite. I think I've gone pro, basically. I never ward, and the fact that I did that was so mature of me. Nice preemptive beats by the Mercury. Dodges, goes the other side towards the Amir, faces getting frozen, but actually catches Amir without the cooldown on his freeze, and so luckily escapes, made all the right gambles, and they went off all the right ways. But like I was mentioning with Anubis and Amir, when you get a stun, it's very easy that everyone says, you know what, let's just kill the person who got stunned. Like, that's the easy target to go to. See, I'm melting the on her here. And without voice comms, those small things to communicate to players just with a stun can help coordinate a team fight versus somebody who's usually going to be in your voice call when you're at a higher level saying, go on the Anubis, go on the Amir, go on this, right? Basically, you're able to do that with the visual communication of, hey, that's the wrap. Everybody, look to attack. Look, the tier was already dashing in. He knew that was the guy to kill, and Claudius goes down yet again. I'm 5-0 with 11 minutes in, my people. So, hopefully this is all helping you. If you're new to Anubis, you don't really understand how to play it, you're seeing the way I like to 2 and then immediately follow up with the 3. That guarantees they'll stay in the damage and get a lot of it. The 3 and 1 when people are up close is great. That way, if they're coming to fight you in a melee range, they have to stand on your damage, and then you're using your 1 for, you know, more damage, and you're getting all the lifesteal off of that, so you're staying alive. Oftentimes, you can win 1v1s in that scenario. And then, of course, poking. With Anubis, poking is so key. He has a lot of big AoE slows, grasping hands, right? It actually, he calls hands from the underworld and slows targets by 25% every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. So if you're in there, every half a second, you're getting slowed by 25%. That's huge. That's a lot of poke. It encourages you to stay in there more and take more damage. And it can deal 340 damage. 140% of your magical power coming onto that ability as well. Very, very strong. And again, using that poke can help you to put targets at that low health range where, you know, all I got to do is use my 2 and then ult. And you saw when I did with Claudius last kill, basically just 2 and ult. I don't have the ult here. Had to walk close. He's going to get out of it, unfortunately, because I didn't have the 3 available. I knew he would be there, so the 2 was enough, but he's poked out of the fight. I've done my job. If he stays, he's probably going to die. And if he doesn't, I mean, then I poked him out of the fight. He pretty much isn't there. Terra activates her ultimate. There's the Mercury ult as well. I have to use my beads, but he gets the damage off. Oh my gosh, Sanctuary used as well. They're still diving this. This is everybody. The Anubis. Wait a second. The Morrigan turns into the Anubis and takes me down. The Morrigan, the new Celtic god, coming in strong, using her ability to copy the abilities and turn into another god on either her team or the enemy team. She chose to turn into me, gets the achievement. to kill another god as them, and wow, just shuts me down. So a lot of good things for that Morgan. Great play, actually. I love that she took the CC that was so powerful. And now look at this, though. We are just coming in. The Morgan goes down. Gullion with a double kill. Unique Immortals falls to Hades, the heebie-cheebie Hades. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, if you got this skin, you were going to be the best. I am just watching my teammates follow up so hard. It's like somebody punched me at a bar, and then my boys came and got my back and just started throwing down. And I'm like a little unconscious in the background, and they're just whooping booty. That is exactly what I like to see. 10-5, we go basically 3-1 in that engagement. I die, we take down 3 of theirs for the huge commit, and they sacrificed a lot to get me, but I don't think it was really worthwhile. Death Gaze, the ultimate. You guys have seen it. If you know Anubis at all, if you played Smite at all, you know this ultimate is one of the most damaging ultimates in the game. I think the most damaging, 1,290 damage total this can deal, and it can take 450% of your magical power. Let's say I have 500 magical power at the end of the day. 450% of that. That's not. So 100% would be taking 500. 200% would be taking 1,000. That means I'm taking 2,000 and what? 2,225, 200,000, 250. I don't know what it is. It's a lot of crap. I think it's 2,500 extra on top of the 1,290. It's like 3K plus damage onto somebody. There's just no way most people are going to be able to survive that onslaught of damage, especially if the 3 is running as well. You see the 2, 3, and then use the 4, the ultimate, and lock them down, finish them off. There's the Morgan standing there. Oh, actually, man, I haven't played against Morgan, actually. I'm getting fooled by some of these things. Those decoys are actually really good, guys, so that's just my inexperience, but damn, decoy going in. Okay. And so, obviously, Anubis, big damage champ, a lot of fun. You know, I recommend playing him if you haven't played him a lot. If you play him a lot, I definitely recommend working on him as a champion if you want to get better at gods that require good positioning. There are certain gods that really, you know, have a lot of escape tools, and you can be more adventurous and make more mistakes and get away with it. And that kind of limits your ability as a Smite player to, I think, play to your highest potential. If you have a god like, you know, Nike, who can just survive any situation, she can be so out of position. Oh my god, this Mercury doesn't see it. Look at this. I'm so evolved. I am the demonic skin. Is he going to get it? Oh, he jukes the dash, but there it is, the 3-1. He tries to fight. He knows there's no way out, but look at my health. He hit me for a lot of damage as well, and that was just all regen thanks to the lifesteal. I'm running out of mana, though, and so this is actually a bit of an issue. I want to finish, but you can get caught up in here. You could die quite a bit here. I use my ult. Oh, my God. The fire in the air is beautiful. But the Camazotz with the Sanctuary takes himself out of the fight, goes in the health pool. Ooh, a little meditation. Now I can actually stay. This is very, very good for us here. We might be able to do something hiding around the corner. Again, positioning important. I'm going to go and aggress. Now we see that there's damage on a target. I don't hit him with my 1. Plague of Locust will not connect, but we go into the back line. Gullion with the ultimate. Hades goes in, CCing everybody, trying to pull him in closer. Lawbringer comes in the back line on her ultimate to try and counter, and it's not going to do any damage. I see the Mercury there, and I'm waiting for my Plague of Locust to be up, and look at this damage. They're trying to kill me. 2 of them are on me, but 1 goes down, and so does the Titan, and that finishes the game. Anubis, 8-1, finishing off the Smite A to Z. Back on the channel. Raynday Gaming is back on the mic, and I am so happy to be giving you some information about one of my favorite mages, one of my favorite gods, Anubisino, coming in raw. So he's just a very fun god. Hopefully you enjoyed this A to Z, understood a little bit more about the god. Looking at the build, too, just kind of going back into it, there wasn't a lot that I did. One of the things that I will mention, though, is if you think you got to build Pythagoream and Pythags and Bancroft on him to take advantage of the lifesteal, remember that he gets extra scaling, 33% extra scaling per tick, which means that he can get double the magical lifesteal, essentially, 99% of the magical lifesteal from an item based on getting 3 ticks. So if you have a 15% magical lifesteal item, he can turn that into 45%, so you may not need to grab all 3. In fact, you will be overcapping it. So Doom Orb was a great start for me. I had the lead advantage. I grabbed the damage boots, but you can go cooldown with that. Warlock Sash, a pretty good item, allows him to be healthier and allows him to maintain his health pool a lot and also take advantage of the lifesteal because he's got more health to lifesteal back, right? If you only got 1,000 health, you can only lifesteal up to 1,000, but you got 1,500. If you go down to 1,000, you could keep lifestealing back up to that 500, keep making more value out of that lifesteal. You know, whether you stay in lane 2, 3 more, you can heal all the way up to 1,500. That's an extra 500 health you're giving yourself in fights, and healing that you're ultimately doing, making it harder for the enemy team to burst you down, really, which is the key there. There's a lot of items too where you might want to grab. Dynasty Plate Helm is a good item for him. Early on, mages like to sometimes grab that, especially if they're getting ganked or are afraid of getting ganked. Grabbing a little bit of physical protections against some junglers or some pressure like that will help you, and it's good magical power as well, so don't be afraid to look at that item. And of course, Rod of Tahuti, Bancroft Sound, Soul Reaver, those are great items to finish off. Polynomicon is okay too, because with the wrap, you can actually kind of confirm an auto attack pretty easily with that wrap once, and that would be a lot of damage since it scales off of your magical power. And Anubis, he's got a lot of magical power. He does very well with it, scales pretty high in the late game with it. And so that's what you want to get. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, if you enjoyed this, stay tuned, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more Smite A to Z or more content like this here at Raynday Gaming. Let me know what you thought about the gameplay. What do you think about Anubis? Who are you most excited to see in the A to Z series? And are you new? Let me know. I'd love to see you playing this game. Let me know. I know Hyperius, Rhinoceros, Heavy C2, Unique Immortal, Claudius, you did. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And all my homies at Raynstorm as well. Murphy's Law, Gullion. Shout out to you boys. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming. And I'll see you all next time.